Welcome back to Beyond the Sword. I'm about to start attacking the Mongolians. Let's see if we have good luck with this. 68.6%. First one, success. It took damage down to, I think it's the one that's down to 3.8 now. It should be okay. It'll take a few turns to heal, but as long as we don't lose any vultures, everything's good. And again, another success. 3 archers left, and 5 vultures here in this tile. And fail, but the archer was put down to 1.1, so we'll easily win the fight against that one after we get to it. We lost another. Down to 0.5. Now you see, because the archers are significantly injured, the combat odds are higher than 99.9%. I have actually lost a combat under this circumstance, like once, but it really should never happen. Okay, and this gives us a bunch of gold from pillaging the city, which will help us keep up in tech until the city is of a useful size. Oh wow. Well, this is perfect. When you take over a city, the wonders in the city are maintained. So this would be really bad to raise, because Stonehenge giving a free monument in every city is extremely useful. It helps all of my cities grow. So you can see, if we go back over to these cities now, they have monuments in them, even though I never built the monuments. The Stonehenge automatically constructs monuments in all cities. I don't think I get the culture from the wonder itself. Stonehenge is supposed to make culture in addition to the great profit points, but Stonehenge will not be producing culture from me. I might be misremembering, that might be a mod feature, but I don't see the culture here in the tooltip for Stonehenge, which is okay. Normally, to get Stonehenge out as a player, you have to focus on chopping trees very quickly to finish Stonehenge, but here it won't be necessary. I'm going to be keeping it. It'll be revolting for 4 turns, and because its culture is predominantly Mongolian, it might revolt multiple times before it becomes a productive city for me. Notice now this city gained back access to its sheep, so now it can work both the sheep and the copper to finish the library in a reasonable amount of time. Notice, like, the hill has 4 hammers, but this one just shows like an anvil. This is the symbol for 5 hammers on a tile. And same here, you can see the corn has not just the slice of bread, but also this loaf of bread, and that means 5 food. It's just for convenience. So I'm going to, okay, he did hook up these resources. Again, he fixed that after I pillaged them. I'm going to immediately start on a road to connect my city with my new one, so that it's part of a single network. That way they'll share resources. I'll have those 2 workers make a road on the hill next turn. They'll work together so that they can get it done in a single turn. Road. So now we can see this city has access to copper from over here, but also access to cows and corn, which improves its healthiness, which is good because I cut down a bunch of trees, which reduce the health of the city. This isn't really relevant until the city gets bigger, but it does help. Now notice, the city is unhappy with me. If it grows, it will be angry. It has a surplus of exactly 6, So I can stop the city from growing by switching from the corn tile into the mine tile here, which gives it pretty good base production on its own. Since it's size 4, it consumes 8 food per turn. And the cow, city center, and oasis is exactly 8 food. And these two here. So this is a pretty good city at the moment. I'm going to have it finish the library. Once the slavery runs out in 5 turns, it will gain back 1 of its happiness points. And then I'll grow it up to the next size. And once the library comes out, I'll start working scientists who create great person points for scientists. And this will eventually get me access to great people. Scientists are particularly good great people because technology is very important, but all the other great people have their own role in the system. I'll move a few more of these vultures. Okay, which one got an upgrade? This one. I'll give him city attacker as well. I'll move into the city. Fortify. I still don't want to give Caesar open borders. I'm going to use 2 of these vultures to try to secure another city. Once this library is finished, I might produce a settler. In this, one of these cities will make a settler. Okay, which one is least promoted? Okay, these 4 have the city raider promotion. And I will bring this one along as well. This one vulture should be sufficient to defend. There are 3 archers in this town, in this city here. Right, so because Beshbalak is on a hill, this would be quite a bit costlier for me to take. But wiping out the Mongolians will stop this city from revolting because that culture will no longer exist. So that's very important for me to get done quickly. I might need more vultures than this. There's 4 archers here, so if I get unlucky, this could turn out poorly. Okay, so the granary will work. These 2 tiles. Right, so Stonehenge doesn't produce culture for me. It only produces culture if it's owned by the original creator of the wonder. Alright, 60.5%. Let's do it. Success. 65.4%. Also success. 62.3%. Perfect. Since this city has access to cows and deer, I'm definitely going to keep this one too. This puts us at 4 cities. Pretty convenient timing, to be honest. I probably don't need to make another settler, but I might. You know, having this extra city here, giving me access to the ivory and wine, will be pretty handy. I can put a camp on the ivory, which will give me happiness in all cities. Okay, and that did destroy the Mongolian civilization. So now if we check the culture of the city, we see it's 100% Sumerian. A destroyed civilization has no cultural influence whatsoever. And this medic will hang out here. I'll go ahead and use one of these workers to make this road that I was talking about. But this other one needs to come up here and hook up the deer. Maybe I'll chop some of these forests to speed up the infrastructure of these cities. Granaries are always a good option for the first building in a new city because they double the growth rate of the city, which with slavery is extremely useful. You want to be able to turn that growth rate into production. There is another deer up here, I think, if I remember correctly from the first run that we did. It's not really necessary that I expand up here, but it might not be a terrible idea. Notice this wheat only has 4 food, but this corn has 6 because it gets a bonus food from being a special agricultural resource with access to fresh water. The wheat does not have fresh water, so it gets 4, but a wheat on fresh water, like this one, will get 5. We'll see that once I build the city down here. And this one will have access to 2 elephants, which is really good. So I definitely do want a city on this tile. That means that I'm going to be rushing priesthood as soon as alphabet is done. I should be able to trade for it, which will be convenient. And as soon as that's done, I'm going to start making ziggurats in all of these cities. Okay, this city is angry with me. It'll get over it in a couple of turns. Yeah, it's not super happy. It'll starve a little bit, but I'll let that happen. That's okay. This one's going to finish its library soon, which will give me a good boost for science. Yeah. Where's that worker essence over here? Yeah. You can start chopping here. I'll give him City Raider 2. I'll give him City Raider 1. Any of the other ones have a promotion? No. Yes, this one. City Raider 2. So if I decide to use these aggressively again, the vultures should be relevant combat units for much of the next 40 or 50 turns, I think. After Uruk finishes this library, I'll have it make a scout or 2 so that I can get a better look at my surroundings. Let's see. I'll send 2 of these vultures over here. And I'll send my medic as well. I'll keep these 3 in the general area. Leave this one in this city, and I'll move these 2 into Karakoram. They'll keep an eye out for barbarians or something. I'm going to fortify here. If there's a city nearby, I'm going to want to take it very quickly and burn it to the ground. This is by far the best location for a city, I think. But this might actually be better because it gives me access to the second wine. Unfortunately, it gives me less access to hills, because I won't have access to this other hill over here. But maybe I'll take a look at what these tiles are. Okay, Barbarian Warrior. He's not a big fan of me, because I attacked his buddy. But the Mayans... Who's Maya? Okay. No, he likes me a lot more, so this guy can get lost. So this affects my relationship with him. You declared war on our friend. You refused to stop trading with our worst enemy. But I'm not too concerned. I just got alphabet, though. So I might be able to trade it for stuff. I'm going to start by trying to trade with the players near the bottom of the list.
When words are both true and
that way it benefits them less. He doesn't have alphabet and doesn't want alphabet. So instead I'll try to trade pottery and agriculture. He won't take just pottery. Okay, so he did take that. That's not bad.
Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. If you chase two rabbits, a man to fish, you will lose them both. Feed him for a lifetime.
I'll try Darius. Okay, Darius has ironworking. And he apparently has alphabet because... No, he has writing. And it won't let me trade him alphabet because he needs writing first. So if I want to try to trade alphabet for ironworking, I'm gonna need to trade writing for... I don't need sailing at all. This is a really good trade for him, but I'll do it anyway. Alphabet for ironworking. Cool. This will reveal iron.
Do not throw the arrow, which will return. You should hammer your iron when it is glowing hot.
Great. Okay. The closest iron is here. Now that means that this may also be a very good city. It won't have access to fresh water, which is annoying, but it will be able to work cows and iron, which is pretty good. The iron on grasslands will give less production than an iron on a hill or plains because of the way the base tile production works, but the grassland iron tile will feed itself because the grasslands 2 food feeds the citizen that works it. And so this city working a cow and an iron will have surplus food, which is good for its growth. So that means that this... I definitely won't make a city here. I'll fan out a little bit. I'll take a look over here with this vulture. This guy will hang out here for a bit. And I'll make a road down to this tile if I'm going to be expanding that way. So back to my original plan. I still want meditation and priesthood if I can get them, because I really want access to my ziggurats. That way I can start cutting down on my maintenance costs in these cities, which is important if I'm going to make 1 or 2 more. Okay, Roosevelt is down there. I want to be friends with him, so I don't want to make him angry with me just yet. I'll make a settler, which I can get done in 7 turns, which is pretty decent pace. I really want this city to hurry up and get over itself. I see. Well, this would be easy to kill. Vultures are so much stronger than warriors that it's very easy to win that fight. I can speed up meditation a bit. I am losing gold per turn, but the pillaging of these 2 cities gave me enough gold that it doesn't really make much of a difference. I'm gonna have the healthy vulture step out and fight those barbarians. Aha. Access to horses. It is outside of where this city could work, so I might need yet another city on this tile. This is why it's very important for me to go for the ziggurats as soon as I have access to it. So I really wish one of these guys would trade me meditation and priesthood. It's very annoying that they refuse to, or they just never got it. The reason that he won't trade these away is because he's considering building a wonder, and all of these technologies have wonders on them, and he doesn't want to trade the technology and then have someone take the wonder from him. So it's very common for them to refuse to trade techs if they're planning on making a wonder. And if they haven't decided on what wonder to make, then they won't trade away any tech that builds a wonder of any kind. Okay, there's a barbarian city down here. I'm gonna see if I can go take it with just a couple of vultures. That archer is fighting a little bit. The vultures are strong enough that it should be possible for me to go take it with the vultures, and I'll probably just burn it down. It's very rare that a barbarian city is in a good location, so they're almost never worth keeping. Okay. This city is safe if I attack here. I'll notice every one of these cities will start growing from the monuments. Easy. Wow. That was at like 99% chance. Well, these things happen. You lose occasionally. Keep him here. Alright, so they both attacked this vulture. The other one that died was less experienced, so it's not a huge loss, but it's definitely annoying to lose these units this early. I'm actually going to switch these guys out. This one has less experience, so I'm going to bring this one back towards Karakoram on the next turn. And I'll fortify him to keep an eye on the area. This is also grassland on a river, so this is a high priority for me to chop. Harapan. Okay, 3 archers. So it won't be super easy for me to take, but I might take it, or I might just leave it there. There's not really a big cost of leaving barbarian cities. In some of the mods that I like to play, barbarian cities that grow and develop infrastructure will become actual civilizations. They'll become like some random civilization from the list if they're left alone long enough, but that's not in the base game. Let's check one more time, see if anyone has priesthood. Okay, I'll finish meditation first. This is library is giving me a decent boost here. Okay, very interesting. That's where I wanted to put a settler. So that cannot be allowed. That settler's down in 4 turns. I'll make a scout. I'm chopping more trees in this area to try to get these granaries out quickly. I could whip them. I could definitely whip this one. But then it won't want to grow anymore. It'll pop in a couple of turns and get access to the corn. I'll let it build the granary on its own, and then I'm going to whip out the library because it will be able to work scientists with access to these two tiles. So that's what I'm going to do.
Meditation brings wisdom. Lack of meditation leaves ignorance. Know well what leads you forward and what holds you back.
See if anyone will give me a priesthood. Not Pakal. Not Roosevelt. He's also thinking of building a wonder. Man, these guys are useless. I'll have the scout start checking out what's going on over here. And I wasn't super sure what I wanted to do with this city after it finishes the scout. But I guess I'll make another couple of vultures. Just in the interest of making sure I can take out this city as quickly as I can. So that's where we are at the moment. We have 4 cities. 2 of them were taken from the Mongolians. The Mongolians have been completely destroyed, which means that all of this territory through here should be ours, although the AI tends to be very expansionist, so if I'm not careful, I'll end up surrounded by a ring of AI cities. I want to discourage that as much as I can, although it's sort of inevitable. At some point, we'll have to continue going to war to take them. A war in this game is kind of a trap. If you waste a bunch of time at war without gaining anything, then you're hurting your economy for nothing. So this war was relatively efficient. Because we took these 2 cities, I'm very quickly going to be able to catch up to the top of the scoreboard, even on a difficulty on Emperor where they get very large bonuses. But I have to maintain pace. You know, if I sit around and do nothing, the AI will pass me. And if one of them gets mad at me and attacks me, they can produce quite a lot of units. And of course, it's possible for me to produce a lot of units myself. That's what I did to attack Mongolia. But having to sacrifice population over and over again will cripple my scientific growth and my economy. And the maintenance on the units will hurt my gold income, which will hurt my science income once I run out of gold. And the problem is just, there's no good way. I'm actually going to upgrade this one to a vulture. I think that's the best play. So that he can help attack. And once you fall behind, it can be really difficult to catch up. So those are the kinds of spiraling death traps that you really need to avoid when you're playing this game. So on the next turn, we'll start taking the city, and I'll start explaining how the mechanics work for the library. I really need more happiness in this city. So I should be able to use the library efficiently in either Eridu or Uruk, depending on what I want to do after the settler is done. Alright, well, I'll see everyone in the next video.